Guess who's back? Back again. Flo is back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Listen, we are drinking tea because obviously we're in the UK and it's cold again. Lovely jubbly. We're talking about Ready to Love, season 4, episode 9 and 10. I wanted to do episode 9 and 10 because when I watched episode 9 and the way it ended, I was like, it'll be better to do the review 9 and 10 together because 9 leads into 10, so it just makes sense to just do 9 and 10 together. Anyways, so let's go. Okay, so in episode 8 we left off where Amber had been pulled out for kissing Ron, so she was getting told off by Alexis Fly. I mean, that whole scenario was super intense. I mean, she did it in front of everyone, which is a little bit embarrassing for Amber. But Amber's becoming somebody that we are just like, is that you? Yeah, like, Amber, you're moving different. We thought you was different, but you're moving very differently. So, you know, Amber and Alexis have the little confrontation right there and then, and Amber just sort of, you know, apologizes to kind of move on and whatnot. And she says the kiss didn't really mean anything. It's nothing. So they move on. I mean, that whole conversation should have really happened. Not in front of everyone, but as you know, Alexis. So the team, the whole gang decides to go into the hot tub, the jacuzzi. Kyra gets in, AJ gets in, Jason gets in, and Liz gets in. You know, Kyra came in that little swimsuit, honey. She came in them little strings. I mean, Kyra's got the body for it. She's got the body for it. So if you've got it, flaunt it. And she was there being tactical, or yeah, she was being tactical. Like, she wanted to wear something that she knows. She said men are visual, so give them something to look at. So she wore her little skimpy little swimsuit. I'm not even mad at her because she looked good in it. And she was over there talking to AJ and talking to Jason and whatnot. I mean, that whole thing was whatever, you know. I mean, it wasn't that interesting. And AJ is still over there talking about, oh, I have a real connection with Alexis. I think she's amazing. It's like, AJ, are you saying this to convince yourself or us? Because we're not convinced, not even a little bit. So save the BS. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Anyways, KG and Amber go up to the roof deck to have a conversation about the fact that she's kissed Ron or whatever. He wants to just be made sure that, you know, she's not moving on to Ron, even though he's not on the show, and that her feelings are still, you know, where he thinks they are with him and whatnot. And they have the little sit down conversation. You know, I mean, Amber knows what to say, when to say it, okay? She knows. And to me, KG is easy prey for Amber. Okay, because we all underestimate Amber. We all thought she was like a young, naive girl because she looks like she's about 17 years old. But Amber knows what she's doing. It's always the one you don't really think. Okay, it's always them, you know. I'm telling you. Okay. So now we move on to the next morning. And we find out that Joelle and Venetia slept in the same room. And Joelle's over there trying to convince us that, oh, no, nothing happened, baby. You know, nothing happened, babe. Like, listen to me. That bed looks small, okay? And you are in the bed with a woman that you're attracted to who's also attracted to you. And she's super emotionally connected to you. This is what I said in my other review, that I kind of believe that Joelle and Venetia have already done the deed because she's so emotionally attached to him. It's like, there's no way you're that emotionally attached to a man that you haven't given your body to. You understand? This is where you don't give your body to these minions. Okay? This is why the Bible says abstain. Guard your heart. But you know, we don't listen because we're such hard-headed people. But this whole situation didn't make sense to me. You know, I didn't understand why I go on with it because you're already telling me that you slept in the same room as this woman, and you know, Venetia, she's got a body, okay? And you're trying to tell me that, oh, nothing happened? Okay. We believe you. And there's a little bit where, you know, it cuts off to like Liz and she's talking and then she's mentioned something about how Jason was relentlessly pursuing her and this and that. I don't know what Liz, I don't know where she found that at. I don't know who told her that. Because to my recollection, Jason was relentlessly pursuing Kyra. Okay? Me and Kyra, we kids, and I'm not talking about pigs. Yo, he sounded like a real idiot when he said that. We kids. It's like, shut up. Always talking. Anyways, when she said that, I was like, girl, you're delusional. Anyways. So, Kyra and Jason play tennis. They're over there playing tennis, another little date, little whatever. They have this conversation, and basically Jason is asking her, like, what do you want? Because he's realizing that, yo, I've been choosing her, but she hasn't really been choosing me. But she has been choosing him, but she's not being definitive about it. Like, you were the only one, and obviously she's got options, okay? And Jason's coming across like he don't want her to have options. You know, he wants to be the only option. But she's got options, honey. She's got options. They're playing around. I mean, they have a little awkward kiss. I mean, I just don't want to be seeing these things like this, okay? I don't want to see nobody kissing Jason. I'm sorry. But they're having this conversation, and he's really pressing her to make a decision. And this is going to be very relevant in the next episode, because in this moment, he's pressing her to make a decision. All right, no problem. She says she wants to take her time. And I think it's one of those things whereby Kyra is, for my opinion of her, is that she doesn't want to be put under pressure. And I don't think Jason is reading that. And you know, certain people, if you put them under pressure, they clam up, they stop. They don't want to, they're not going to go left or right. And I think that's Kyra. She's the kind of person you put under pressure. She can't go left or right. She just stops. And he keeps doing that to her, and it's actually counterproductive for what he wants. So, and you keep doing it. So stop doing that. Okay, so we move on to the next scene where AJ and Alexis are having a little conversation on the roof deck or whatever. It's a super awkward conversation. Every conversation Alexis and AJ have, it's like, do you just meet 5 minutes ago? Because it's so awkward. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the way it's cut up with production and everything, but for me, there's like, the conversation is so dead. Anyways, they're having a little convo about whatever that they're talking about. Alexis then tries to throw Kyra under the bus by trying to make it seem like, oh, you know, I'm just trying to, you know, watch out for you so you don't get unequally yoked up to somebody who's this, that, and the third. I don't know what the heck she's talking about. Because she was trying to throw Kyra under the bus, basically trying to act like, yeah, you shouldn't choose Kyra because you guys don't even get along, or you guys are always arguing. First of all, you should mind your business. That's one. Okay? And two, you should continue to mind your business. Okay? That's 1 and 2. Okay? 3, go back to 1. Okay? Because to me, her doing that, it just shows you how catty and just backbiting Alexis is. You know, it just doesn't even make sense to me. Like, why are you trying to throw Kyra under the bus? She's trying to find love like you're trying to find love. So why are you throwing her under the bus? In that moment, for me, I felt like she was being such a big bitch. Like, don't do that to somebody else. You're trying to find love. She's trying to find love. Don't make her out to be a bad person so you can get the guy that you want. Let me tell you, a wise prophetess once said, you never win when you play dirty, okay? I think that's what she said. You never win when you play dirty, okay? Prophetess Nene Leakes. You can't do that with people. So when she did that to me, it didn't sit well in my spirit. But then everything Alexis has been doing does not sit well in my spirit. You know, I mean, Ron recently came out with a whole live and he talked about the whole thing, and he talked about how he wanted to self-eliminate, and they told him, you know, don't self-eliminate for the sake of Alexis, because otherwise she would have to go off the show because nobody else is really vibing with her on that level. You're like her only choice. And he didn't self-eliminate. He stayed on the show for Alexis, only for Alexis to then put him on a chopping block and have him eliminated. Like, when that came out, I was like, what the hell? Like, that's how scheming and conniving Alexis is. And people like that get on my nerves. You're such a schemer. You're such a conniving person. You want to throw people under the bus, but you want to hide behind scriptures. You want to hide behind, you know, gospel music. I got somebody in my workplace that's like that. You know, the biggest bitch in the world. But, you know, she want to play, oh, praise the Lord. But, you know, she's the most conniving, most just... The most deceitful person. I don't know. Alexis ain't sitting well in my spirit in that behavior. So you did that to Ron. He stayed on the show to save you, to make you not be embarrassed. You would have been kicked off the show because you was vibing with nobody else. You wasn't vibing with AJ. And Alexis still chose to throw Ron under the bus the way she did. And even the fact that she was talking about his religion and this and that, and Ron came out and said, he is religious, he just doesn't like to go to church because he used to go to church and then found out that, you know, one of his pastors was doing things that he shouldn't have been doing and whatnot. And he kind of just lost that faith in the attendance of church. There's many people who don't go to church, but they still read the word, they still fast and pray. I don't really attend church because maybe I'm church hurt, but you know, I still love the Lord. I read my scriptures. I'm not a perfect Christian, but I try my best. But you know, there's a lot of nonsense that goes on in the church, okay? There's a lot of nonsense that goes on in the church. But he did all of that to cover Alexis, and she made him out to seem like he was this bad person. So Alexis, to me, she's not sitting well with me. Okay, and then she's trying to throw Kyra under the bus because she feels threatened by Kyra. You should feel threatened by Kyra because not only is she better looking, and I'm gonna say it, she also behaves better and treats people better. So people want to be around her for both of those reasons, okay? And she ain't out here decked out in them sequins like it's Mardi Gras. Anyway, so Jason has a little conversation with Tommy and they're talking about their selections and this and that. And then he's going back and forth, back and forth. And then he says he chooses Liz. Okay, no problem. Then KG chooses Amber, obviously. Who else does he choose? And we all know KG's gonna choose Amber. Joelle obviously chooses Renisha, which is fine. Which then means Kyra is on the chopping block. Then it's up to Jason. Who is he gonna choose? Who is he gonna choose? Is it gonna be Alexis? Is it gonna be yeah, it's gonna be Alexis. Is it gonna be Kyra? Alexis or Kyra? Alexis, Kyra. The person you actually want to be with, or the person you're pretending that you like? Which one are you gonna choose? Then AJ takes Kyra to the roof, so you know my heart was breaking. I was like, not Kyra, not sister Kyra, because obviously I really like Kyra. I like her energy. I mean, she's not perfect, nobody is perfect, but I like Kyra. I like how she looks. I like when black people look really good. I like, you know, I'll be looking at black people like, look how good she looks. Her skin's all moisturized and her wig is laid out nicely. Her eyebrows are nice, her makeup is nice. She speaks really well and she's educated and she's fit and fabulous. I'm just like, look at her, just a black person doing the absolute most, and she's just glowing and I love it. I mean, I like Kyra. I feel like we could be friends. So AJ takes Kyra to the little roof deck and they start talking, and he holds her hand and basically tells her, you're not ready to love. And this is the opening scene of episode 10. Kyra and AJ sitting there, he's holding her hand, telling her that she's not ready to love and this, that and the third. And she even says, can I get my hand back? And he's like, no, I'm not ready to let you go. And in that moment, you can really see that AJ is sincere. AJ is so sincere. Like, he really, really does have feelings for Kyra. He really wants a second chance with Kyra. I think he really wants to be with Kyra. I don't know why she's not seeing that. I mean, I saw it when he was taking her on these dates all the time. Like, every episode, AJ was taking Kyra on a date. You know, and the dates she would go with AJ were always more extravagant than the little cheap dates that Jason was taking her on. But you didn't hear that from me. So, you know, she tells the truth and says, you know what, I'm not quite sure still. Like, my feelings are just, I'm not sure. I believe Kyra is operating from a place of fear. She's fearful of something. You don't know what it is, but she needs to take that leap of faith, sis, because if you don't make a decision, because indecisiveness is a decision as well. Okay, you're choosing not to choose. So whatever happens then happens, which is not good. It's better for you to make a choice. If it's the wrong choice, then hey, it's the wrong choice. Then for you to not make a choice, then it's like, Maybe it could have been ate, maybe it could have been beat. We don't really know. So I'm not quite sure why she's indecisive, especially when AJ is really showing his hand, like, I want to be with you, I want us to be something, and she's still kind of like, I'm not quite sure. It's like, what are you unsure about? So anyways, yeah, so after that, I mean, they had a little conversation. AJ then changes his mind and basically tells Kyra that he still wants a chance with her, and he was even hoping that Jason would save her so that he wouldn't see her go home. Obviously he didn't do that. So he changes his mind and keeps Kyra. So Kyra continues, and he basically has a sit down with Alexis and sends Alexis home, and she's really upset and she feels like, oh, I feel betrayed and this and that. It's like, you did the same thing to Ron, so get over it. There was this other bit where, I mean, Liz keeps making these like comments. I mean, I like Liz, I still like Liz, but Liz keeps making these comments, like, she keeps making these comments that has me so completely baffled. When she made a comment about, oh, I know AJ and Alexis had a really strong connection. It's like, how do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know? Because from what we're seeing, they have a very fake connection. You can't have a connection with a man who doesn't call you. What are you connecting to? Sis, you ain't even connecting to his Wi-Fi, okay? That's how unconnected you are, okay? She sat there and talked about how she called AJ, he didn't call her back. And then he said, well, I was busy. You was busy. If Kyra called you, it wouldn't even ring twice. Okay, please. Oh, AJ and Alexis had a real strong connection. How? When they don't spend time together and he doesn't pick up her calls. How are you having a connection with somebody who ain't spending time with you? Explain that to me. Some Bluetooth connection. That's what that is. So, okay, so this time they go and meet nephew Tommy, and they're sitting down having a conversation, and basically Kyra says, you know, tells him the whole story that AJ basically saved her and sent Alexis home. And because Liz's comment was based on, oh, Alexis has gone home. Jason and AJ and Alexis had a strong connection. Like, you don't know that. Anyways, she explains the whole situation, and she just feels like there's something about Jason that he's lying, because you can't be telling me that you like me and then when it's time is to vote for me, you don't vote for me to stay. That doesn't make sense. It don't make sense. So she's confused and she thinks that Jason is lying, and obviously Liz is sitting there upset because she's like, oh, don't question this man's character. He's a good man. He's a good man. And like, how she... Anyway, let me not make fun of my girl, because I do like Liz. But still, Liz, I'm going to need you to wisen up in these dating streets, because you're real young in the mind when it comes to these minions, okay? So, anyways, then it cuts to the next scene was Joelle and Venetia talking, and it's very boring, so I'm not going to regurgitate that. It's absolutely boring. Let's move on. So this next scene, right? Jason takes Liz out on a date, okay? Jason is wearing purple trousers with a red shirt and red shoes. I want to know where men go to buy red shoes. Where you look go to buy red loafers? Like red, like clown red. Like Ronald McDonald red shoes. I want to know where you look buy that kind of stuff from. Okay, because I was like, when he was walking into the restaurant, I was like, what is he wearing? Lord, it was not giving me Vogue honey. It wasn't giving me London Fashion Week, honey. It was not giving me Esquire, nothing. It wasn't giving me nothing at all. I was like, why are you wearing purple trousers and a red top and red shoes? And you really thought you was killing it in the game. They're sitting there talking, and Liz basically asks Jason, like, Kyra mentioned this, that, and the third, like, would you still have chosen me? And he said, I would have chosen you regardless. He said that to Liz with a straight face. The thing that really is worrying for me about Jason is the fact that he lies in such a convincing way. Like, he's such a good liar. He's not bad at lying. He's really good at lying. People like that alarm me. I was like, you see you? You're a devil. in disguise, because you could tell a lie and just be real stoic about it and be real straight about it. You can't tell when Jason is telling the truth or a lie. That's very, very scary. He sat there and said to Liz, to her face, and said that, yeah, I would have still chosen you from weeks ago. And even if Cara had chosen me, I would have still chosen you. That's a lie. Because when they were at that ranch, he was over there asking her to make a choice, because he wanted her to choose him so that he could choose her. Because he didn't want to choose her and then she doesn't choose him. And he sat there in front of Liz to her face and lied, forgetting that this whole thing has been filmed from beginning to end. Are you stupid? Lord have mercy. And it just goes to ask, also, you then have to ask the question, like, why did you make it such a thing that Cara gives you a decision if you had already made up your mind? If you've made up your mind, then it doesn't matter what she chooses. If she chooses you or Jason or AJ, because it's like you've made up your mind. You don't care what she chooses, but you were still on her case. Make up your mind. What do you want? What do you want? Like, that's what he was doing. Real manipulative, real, just a liar. I knew I never liked Jason from the time I saw his face. I said, my spirit ain't liking you. No, it don't click to you. Anyways, so Jason goes to the back. They're at this restaurant. He goes to the back. He comes back with a white rose. He comes back with a white rose. And he gives Liz this white rose. He says, I've never given anyone something like this apart from my mother and my stepmother. And he gives her a white rose. And obviously she takes it so like, oh my God, he gave me a white rose. Something he gave to his mother and his stepmother. He gives her this white rose and she's completely just like, oh my God, my baby. And like hugs him. I sat there and I watched that scene. I think I've watched it maybe 4 times now, and I really tried to analyze it, because to me it just wasn't sitting well in my spirit. Okay, because he gave, first of all, I don't believe that's the only, so you're trying to tell me Jason is 36 years old and the most he's ever given to a woman is a rose to his mother? You trying to tell me he's never bought a woman jewelry? Nothing. That's a red flag. And he gave her 1 rose. This wasn't a dozen roses, $2. It was a rose, okay, honey. It was like $5. But anyways, it's the symbolism, it's the meaning behind it. The meaning behind this rose for me, I said, listen, he gave you something that he would give to his mother. That means he's looking at you like his mom. Okay, that means the feeling Liz gives to Jason is the same feeling his mom gives to him. That's why he gave her that rose. It's because Liz is his proverbial mother on the show. She's motherly towards him, and that's what he likes. It's almost like she gives you all the good things about that your mom would give you, but then you can also do things that you're not meant to do with your mother, if you get what I'm saying. Because that whole situation, to me, I was like, that isn't romantic for him to give you a rose that he's only ever given to his mom and his stepmom. And bigs up to him for having such a good relationship with his stepmom. But for him to give you something like his mom and his stepmom have, that he's given to them before, that's not sexy. Like, I'm sorry, and it might be cute, but to me it was reading, it's because he looks at you like you're his mother. That's why he gave you that rose. And she was so taken away. But Liz, to me, is coming across very naive when it comes to dating and it comes to men and things like that, because Jason is easy to read, you know, his BS is easy to detect, but the only person who doesn't seem to detect it is Liz. She's there just like, oh my baby, oh Jason, that's my boo. That's my boo. Jason is my boo. You know, and it's just like, why? Do you not smell the BS? It's very strong. I smell it all the way over here in England. Like, what's wrong with you? Anyways, to me, that whole scene was just nonsense. I was like, listen, you give me something that you're giving to your mother, I don't want it. I don't want it. Don't put me and your mom in the same category. We're not in the same category. Your mom and the woman that you're with are not they're not, I'm not saying one's more important or one's less or whatever, but it's such two completely different lanes that it should never even compare. It should never even compare. Don't give me stuff like that you would give to your mother. Like, I wouldn't give a man things that I would give to my mom. It's like, that's not sexy. It's not cute. Jason is anyways, moving on. We're moving to Amber and KG again. They're sitting down having another conversation. Let me tell you something. I'm so over Amber and KG's conversations. Like, all they do is sit down and talk. But despite the fact that they sit down and talk all the time, they seem to not know each other. It's like all you guys do is talk and you still don't know anything about each other. What are you talking about? For Amber to find out that KG practices semen retention in episode 10 of this whole scenario makes no sense to me. That you have not known this whole entire time. Okay, that you've only just found out that he practices semen retention in episode 10. What have you been talking about? This conversation to me really sums up the whole KG and Amber situation, because I said it from the jump that they're not compatible and she's telling him whatever he wants to hear. That's why he's so smitten with her, but she's not being genuine. She's the same woman that said a few episodes ago, oh, she wants to be a mother more than she wants to be married. And I said that was alarming, because if you want to be a mother more than you want to be married, because I believe being a mother, your desire to be a mother and your desire to be a wife should be equal, but for you to have a stronger desire to be a mother than to be a wife implies to me, okay, to me it implies that you are willing to let anybody inseminate you as long as you become a mother. But if you want to be a wife, you're going to choose a certain man that you want to be married to and then have children with that man. But you're saying you're willing to be a mother. That means any old Tom, Dick and Harry, Tyrone and them can come and inseminate you, and you be glad because you want to have a baby. And there are women like that I've heard as well who will say, you know, if I reach a certain age and I'm not married, whoever I'm seeing, I'm just gonna have his baby and I'm gonna raise that baby by myself. I've heard women say that, and to me it's alarming. Like, it's alarming. Going into single parenthood alone by choice is not good. I'm sorry, but anyways, they're sitting there having this whole conversation, and then she's now finding out that he's practicing semen retention until he gets married, despite the fact that he said he doesn't really believe in marriage and marriage is just a piece of paper. So when are you gonna get married? In 10,000 years? See, like, this whole thing, like, their conversations don't add up. Okay, he wants how many, 5, 6, 7 kids, or however many kids he said, and he's like, oh, I've never asked you, how many kids do you want? You've had all these conversations with her, you've never asked her how many kids she wants. She turns around and says she wants 1 kid. He wants a whole village of kids, and she's like, I want 1 child, and I want to have the child after I get married. Oh yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, we'll get married. But you were saying a few episodes ago that you don't believe in marriage. I don't understand how these people are having conversations and the conversations aren't making sense. I'm sitting there watching KG and Amber every episode, and I'm like, some nonsense. Everything's nonsense with them. It's pure nonsense. I'm just like, I'm so over you lot's nonsense. And apparently Amber's found love, but I know it's not with KG. It's not with KG. The reason why I think it's not with KG is because I watched one of his lives and he was sounding like a real bitter Betty up in that live. I said, no, I know you're not happily in the relationship. There's no way. And I think also KG gives me, you know, just like naive guy. Like, he's a bit naive as well as a man when it comes to dating, which makes him very vulnerable to women who are man-eaters, you know. And the fact that he's practicing celibacy and it's only come out now, it's like, maybe KG should have been dating Liz. That would have made more sense, because both of you are practicing celibacy basically until marriage. Yes, hers is for more religious purposes and yours is more for energy purposes. Like he said, you have to protect your energy, but you're both practicing celibacy, so, or abstinence, so maybe they should have been dating instead of her dating Jason or Jared. Kara and AJ basically go on a date, another date. Every episode they're on a date. And she's still talking about how she's unsure about AJ. I'm like, AJ, honey, at this point, he said, he's like, at this point, if you're not sure, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you when somebody is unsure about you and you're still sitting there. That's what I don't know what to tell you, Jason. Oh, sorry, AJ. I don't know how to tell you that. Okay, because there's no way I'm gonna still be sitting here and you're still unsure about me after I've chosen you and chosen you again and then saved you from elimination, and you're still sitting in my face talking about, oh, I don't know what to tell you if you're not, like, are you serious? At that moment when Kyra said that, I would have got up and left. As much as I like Kyra, but her saying that to me, I was like, are you silly? This is quite good, the next scene. So the ladies go back to meet Nephew Tommy, and they are in the ladies' lounge. And a little shade was thrown now, a little shade. Liz tells her little story of her date with Jason and how he makes her feel, and basically that you know, he gave her a rose, a white rose that he's only ever given to his mother and stepmother. She tells that story with such drama, honey. She's giving me drama, okay? She's giving me theater. I said, sis, that whole day wasn't even, man. Oh, girl, stop it. Anyways. Anyways, so, yeah, so in that moment, I think Kyra then laughed. She laughed because it's like, it's so full of BS. And we get to find out that it is. Not that the date didn't happen, but that Jason is full of BS. This is why Jason's not been sitting well in my spirit. Okay, I said it. So Kyra kind of laughs. And then later on, she explains herself and says, well, from what he's said to me, it's not that. So basically, Liz tells everybody that Jason has said to her that he had chosen her weeks ago. Weeks ago, you was the one that was sitting there talking about me and Kyra kissed, and I'm not talking about pigs. That was you weeks ago. That was Jason. That was Jason weeks ago. So there's no way he chose you weeks ago because he was crying over Kyra weeks ago. So let's stop it. Okay, let's stop it right there. Okay, it's like Jason is lying and he's forgetting it's on camera. It's like everything you say, they just pull up the tapes. Pull up the tapes. What's wrong with you? Anyways, so Kyra interjects. You know, she tells her like, listen, he's not been saying that to me and whatnot, and you're abstinent, and the things that he says to me is not about abstaining. So I don't understand what's going on and this, that, and the third. You know, she explains herself. I mean, Kyra did look a little bit desperate. She's starting to look desperate the way she's chasing after Jason, and that's how he set it up. He set it up so that she would chase him. You know, because he's been chasing her and he can't catch her. Now he's switched the tables on her and she's chasing him, and I'm like, sis, you are the prize, okay? Don't be chasing Jason. Listen, if you're gonna chase a man, let a man be worth it. You feel me? Worth it. So yeah, so Nephew Tommy basically tells Kyra like, you need to have a sit down with Jason and really sort of like hush it out, like what's going on, because it seems like he's telling you one thing and there's another thing. So they go and have a conversation. So this is like the ending of the episode. Jason and Kyra sit down, and so Jason makes this comment about how, you know, oh, Kyra called me, and I was like, really? Okay, but I've already made up my decision, so I'm not, you know, trying to renege and all this nonsense that he's saying, basically saying that he didn't want to show up to the meeting, but you showed up, that you brought your forehead with you as well, the cheek, the bloody cheek of him. Jason again. Oh, anyways, let me carry on. Anyways, so she asked him if he had made up his mind weeks ago, why was he pressing her to make a decision? Now, you already made up your mind, so move on. Why are you pressing me to make a decision if you've already made up your mind? You know, and she was basically, he kind of just starts saying, oh, he doesn't really remember if he said that with Liz and whatnot. You know, he can't really remember a lot was said, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I did say that, and basically omits to that he did lie to Liz, that what he said to Liz, that he had made up his mind weeks ago about her, it's not true, and that he's gonna take that like, yeah, it's not true. This is what he sat in front of this woman's face like this. It's always been you. Always. And Liz is there like... I'm like, sis, if you don't back up... if you don't back up, because I don't understand why you're so excited over this man, because he's lying. The minute he came into the room, he was like, hey queen, how you doing, queen? You know what, queen? I don't remember saying that, queen. Let me tell you something. That's code word for patronizing. This is when somebody wants to patronize you, this is what they say. Hey queen, hey sweetheart, hey darling. Especially when you know the issue between you and a person, you've got like a slight issue with them, and then they want to be calling you all these terms of endearment or terms that's supposed to empower you or whatever. You can't be empowering me and kicking me at the same time, okay? You can't be calling her a queen and you're treating her like she's garbage. You can't do that. You can't say she's a queen and you're lying to her. That's what Jason was doing. He walks into the room and says, queen, hey queen, how you doing, queen? I would have corrected him in that moment in time. Cara didn't do that. Maybe I'm more feisty than Cara. I would have corrected him right there and then. Be like, call me Fleurette. And that's Miss Fleurette to you, okay? Put some respect on my name. Thank you. You can't be calling her a queen and you're lying to her face. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And a lot of these, that's code word as well. When you know you got bad blood with someone, maybe not even bad blood, but you know you got a slight issue there. There's a slight elephant in the room. Just slightly, like a foot, like an elephant's foot in a room. And they want to be like, hey queen, hey sweetheart, hey darling, hey sugarfoot, hey my sweetheart. Call me by my name, okay? Don't call me by those terms, because you're patronizing me. That's what you're doing, and it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. The way Jason has come across, you can tell he's a real player. Oh, I've only ever given this rose to my mama. Let's hear it from your mama. Let's hear it from your mama. You've only ever given a woman a rose your whole entire 36 years of living? Get out of here. So what are we getting from being with you? And Liz is over there acting like she's won. Like, sis, what have you won? What have you won in this instance? Nothing. But anyways, good luck with you. Anyways, thank you for tuning in to my show. Make sure to come back here next week, Monday, for the next show. Okay, but we're gonna be reviewing the continuing of this show. Hopefully we're gonna see the reunion. Hopefully David comes to the reunion, because I saw the live that he did with Little Black Book and it was pure nonsense he was talking over there. And he was, and what's his name, Kojo, his name Kojo, was holding his feet to the fire, you know, asking him these questions. Anyways, tune in back next week so you can catch more shade from your girl Fleurette. Be beautiful from the inside out, even if I'm not always trying to be beautiful from the inside, okay? And click that subscribe button and like and share this video with all your friends. Me, a Cara kid, and I'm not talking about pigs.